Hello from the farm here down in North Carolina. Another adventure in the Kubota RTV-X900. And I put something on YouTube a little while ago, about a couple months back, regarding the location and process of changing the fuel filter on this machine. And it went very popular. A lot of people were very interested. In a short order period of time, I ended up getting well over 15,000 views and many appreciative comments, because this was apparently a common challenge for a lot of people. So this is a follow-up to the fuel filter, and I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible without having to crawl all over the place. But this has to do with realizing that you have some water in your diesel tank, and you get it from some gas stations. You know, who knows how you get it? You just get it. Some people say it's just you can get it anywhere. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But sometimes, in my case, I got a situation where I live in a town where two gas stations are notorious for having water in their fuel, whether it's regular gas or diesel. So, you know, you can be led to buying certain treatments that are good, very good quality on low levels of water in your fuel. Things like, but you need to make sure that you get the type of treatment that's made specifically for diesel, not like seafoam that can be used for both gasoline and diesel, but try to find something that is specific, specific for diesel fuel to get water, boost octane, and this kind of thing. And they're good products, and one name that you can look up is one called Diesel Fire. That's one. And then there's a couple of brands, but these are supposedly good. But if you have a reasonable, you have a reasonable amount of water in the tank, or at the base of the tank, it will locate itself at the base and then work itself into the future and once into the filter. And once you have that situation, it's a problem. You can't barely get your thing started. But so you Google around on this thing, you go on your friend ChatGPT, and you find that there is a drain plug at the base of the gas tank. And you're thinking, wow, that's kind of cool. Well, here's the deal. And I'm going to crawl down there in a little bit. But when you get down on your knees and you're laying on your back and you're looking at the thing, you see what appears to be a plug. But it's not a plug. It's an output directly over to the fuel filter. And so you can't just simply undo some bolt and then drain it out easily. So specifically what you need to do is you need to go down, remove the plastic canister that contains the fuel filter, take that off, and then you'll notice that you can take a small little Allen wrench or something like that, which has an angle just to keep the fuel from going all over your hands. And you can press the button, press the spring-loaded output valve, fuel valve that goes into the fuel filter canister, and you can leak it out as best you can. Might be a little process and be kind of messy, but you can get that fuel out. Best thing to do is get like an electric little pump and pump out as much as you can prior to doing this. So this is the thing. I'm going to get down here and kind of show you a little bit what we're dealing with here. You can see that's the filter right there on the right. And if you see the base of the fuel tank, you'll see what looks kind of like a drain plug, but that again is not one. Now, all this hardware, you don't have to remove this protective housing. Obviously, you can remove the one surrounding the fuel filter, but the other one you would think that if you remove these plates, which I did, and on both sides, that this structure, this protective device would drop off easily into your hands. It doesn't, okay? And so you can remove the screws and stuff, and that will release the actual fuel tank that sits above it. So you can somehow or another you can get up on top of it and then remove the tank for replacement purposes. But so pump the thing out with an electric little pump that you can get, and then using a small tool, you can drain out the remaining fluid from up above the fuel filter by pressing that spring loaded output tube. Be very careful pressing that thing. Do not damage that, because then you'll be in a world of hurt. So that's the plan. You know, they don't tell you this stuff, but it's a common thing. And you really have to make it a practice on every other oil change, or maybe every oil change on this thing, to change that filter, because that filter was filthy. I mean, it had, and probably the culprit of the water just did pool in the filter. And as soon as I got that out, I filled it back up full with good fresh diesel from a different gas station, and added a little bit of the fuel treat that I have. They call it fuel treat rather than fuel treatment. Diesel treat, they call it. And I believe that those products are good. But again, for a quantity of water that gets into your fuel tank here, you have to drain it out as you can. Take that filter off. Take some time, put a little oil pan underneath, and just kind of start leaking that remaining fuel out. And really the first amount of liquid that comes out for the most part is going to be the water culprit. Okay, so I hope this helps. And by the way, if anybody has any suggestions as to what you do with contaminated diesel, add a comment, because that's one thing that I'm not sure of. You know, we have a landfill here, we have oil recycling, but we don't, they won't take they won't take fuel. So I don't know what to do with this stuff. And I think that'd be a good advice for others, to add that as a comment. Also, it really is a pain in the ass. I have to say this thing, when you go out and you buy 4 or 5-gallon tanks of diesel fuel, and you find out one is corrupt, and you sure as hell don't want to put it back into any other machine. It's too bad you can't go to these gas stations and say, listen, can you give me my money back, or can you do something here? Because this is really a problem. It is really a problem with some culprit gas stations, and wherever you get it, someone's got to be. Some people told me that the fuel tankers that come in originally are riddled with a high degree of water, and a lot of times they'll pump that off before they actually fill the tanks up. They even say that if you go into a gas station right after they've filled, a tanker has left, you might want to go someplace else. Now, I don't know if that's a conspiracy idea or anything, but hell, this water's coming from somewhere, And I think some of it comes from venting that they have at some of these old gas stations. They have air that goes in there so they can pump it out. And I think that's the culprit of where I am right now. So anyway, I hope this helps, and have a good day.